I wanted to show you this clip about the propeller on the airplane because it's interesting to see how the speed of the propeller sort of matches or overlaps the speed on the frames on this video, which makes it seem as if the propellers are barely moving or they're even stopped or even as if they're going backwards, even though they're going really fast and moving us forward. Enjoy. As we leave Helsinki, you can appreciate the beauty of the coast in Finland, how people are out on their boats on this beautiful warm day, fooling around, just enjoying the summer here in Helsinki. We are now entering Tallinn, and you can clearly see the port and the warehouses that are on the port. Then we move closer to the city. Eventually, you'll see where Old Town is and a view, very beautiful views of the city. Then I'll hover over the stadium for Flora Football Club, the main team in Tallinn that plays the Estonian League. Hello again, this is your neighborhood tourist, Luis M. And we are on day 2 of our trip to Estonia. As I mentioned before, I like traveling to the local places, places where the locals go to. One thing I like about that is that they're less crowded. Tourists tend to go to downtown or historic places. I have visited and I will visit, of course, some of these places, but my main point of um, delight is to see how the tourists, how the locals live, and how they spend their days, what places they go to, what stores they go to, and even how much they pay for local food. Because as you know, we tourists tend to spend a lot more on a destination because we get overcharged. It's normal, that's part of tourism, but one great thing about coming to the local places is you end up paying local prices. It happened to me that I was, when you travel to a place, you need to prepare well. And when I came here, I had to take a taxi, and I did something good, but then I didn't follow through. So while I was on the airplane, I opened my Uber app, which I don't want to use Uber that much because I don't think it helps local taxi services. However, at the Uber app, it did give me an idea of approximately how much it will be for a local trip to the place where I'm staying. The app gave me a rough estimate between 11 and 13 euros should have been to come here. When I came out of the airport, a taxi driver approached me. Again, I wanted to help the local economy. I went on the taxi expecting to be charged a little more, maybe even 20 euro. But I should have asked before I got in it. And I asked as soon as we started driving, and the taxi driver told me, well, it should be like 25 euros. Gas prices have gone up. Um, this I understand, but 25 euros still seem a lot in comparison to Uber. But once again, I figure, well, let's contribute to local economy. and the guy put a timer on it. And as we were driving, and I know this area a little bit, I knew I still have like 6, 7, 8 minutes to get to my destination, and the timer was already counting 35 euros. And at that moment, I complained, "Hey, what happened? You told me it would be about 25." He said, "Oh no, okay, no worries. I'm gonna stop it now." So he stopped it at 35. So right there, I was already being charged over 20 euro in taxi. It was an unfortunate mistake. The guy took me back to my destination. It was a smooth drive, but I ended up overpaying by a lot. And trying to do a good thing, I did get tourist pricing, and that's something you need to be prepared for. So before you travel to a place, check out local pricing, check out where you're going to, approximately how much it should cost you, and you'll have an idea what you should expect. Always ask before getting into a taxi, and always ask when you don't know how much something's going to cost you, to have an idea. And safe travel. I also wanted to add, don't be afraid to say no. Many times we want to be polite, and we should be polite, but I know, me coming from the US, we don't want to seem confrontational. I know many tourists feel this way. You come into somebody's place, you don't want to argue with them. However, if you have an idea, information is a tool, and if you have an idea of what you want, what you should expect, you should be in your you have the right, and you should be able to say no, and even haggle. If you have an idea, hey, I know it's going to cost me this much. For example, in the taxi comparison, should it cost me about this much? I can get Uber without your help. So feel free to haggle. They don't want to take your service, then go to Google, go to Uber. But yeah, don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to take a stand without being confrontational. Many places I've seen in other countries, the service provider will actually be confrontational, and they will argue with you, and they'll even insult you for trying to haggle with them, or trying to tell them how things are, how you know the way things are. It happened to me in Jamaica. I wanted to get a beer at a local market, and a street vendor wanted to sell theirs. So when I said no, I'm walking towards the local market. They started pushing, and when I continued making a stand, they became aggressive. Verbally, I wasn't in any danger, but you can expect this attitude in many places. I don't have anything against Jamaica. It was a wonderful place, but it happens in many places. So again, don't be afraid to have a position, have an opinion, politely decline service when you think you're being overcharged, or you're not getting the service that you're going to pay for.